For this face mask, you're going to need the following supplies. First, you're going to need a pattern template. I will post a link in the description box below on where you can get this pattern. I have already cut out my pattern for a women's face mask on a durable piece of fabric, and I also added seam allowance. This particular pattern recommends that you add a 1/4 inch seam allowance, but I add 1/2 inch because that's just how I sew. You will also need 2 strips of 10-inch elastic, or 2 10-inch strips of elastic. This is about 1/2 inch wide. You can use whatever width you prefer. You will also need 2 layers of fashionable fabric for the outer part of your mask. I have some black glitter mesh. And then you're going to need 4 layers of cotton fabric, also cut out in the shape of your pattern. So each of these is actually 2 layers. And then what's optional is wire for the nose. For some people who wear glasses, you may want to have some wire in the bridge of your mask so that you can pinch it around your nose and keep your glasses from fogging up. It also provides a better seal for your mask against germs. The first thing you need to do is take 2 layers of your cotton lining fabric and sew it together along the curved edge using your seam allowance. For me, my seam allowance is 1/2 inch, and use a straight stitch. The next thing you're going to do is sandwich the other 2 layers of your lining fabric with your fashion fabric. So you're going to take a layer of lining fabric and lay it down flat like that. Then you're going to take a layer of your fashion fabric and lay it on top, right side facing up. You're going to then take your other layer of fashion fabric and lay it right side facing down. And then you're going to complete the sandwich by putting the other layer of cotton fabric on top of that. So you're going to have a total of 4 layers that you're going to be sewing together. And you're going to sew these together just like you did the other layers, using a straight stitch. So this is how your outer layer of fashion fabric is going to look. Then you're going to take it face up like this. And you're going to take the first 2 layers that you sewed together, lay them right sides facing together like so, and then you're going to sew them together along the top edge. Once you've sewn all the layers of your mask together, here's your front, here's your back. You're going to lay the mask like this so that the inside is facing up, and you're going to fold the right hand edge in twice so that you can create a neat hem. This is going to allow for the pockets on the side of our mask. And you're going to top stitch it with a straight stitch. So that is what one hem side looks like, and then you're going to turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. So now you have both sides hemmed, and the next thing that you're going to do is attach your elastic. I know when the video started we had black elastic, but due to technical difficulties, this is my third time recording this segment and I am out of black elastic, so we're just gonna pretend that this is the same elastic from the beginning of the video. Anyways, you're going to take your mask like this. This is the front of my mask. You can see where the design is. And you're going to place your elastic right there at the edge. And I like to apply my elastic with a square pattern of straight stitches. Depending on how wide your elastic is, that's going to kind of determine how you can attach it to your fabric. Some people like to do a wide zigzag stitch. You can just kind of see what you prefer. And I go back and forth to reinforce my stitches a lot. Because I don't want to run the risk of my elastic becoming detached or ripping or anything like that. I just want to make sure that it is as secure as possible. So as you can see, I have attached the first piece of elastic. And then the next thing you're going to do, you have your elastic attached here. You're going to flip your mask over. You're going to run the elastic across the front of the mask, flip it over again, and then you're going to attach the other end of the elastic to the other side of the front of the mask. And again, I'm going to do a square pattern of straight stitches.
No more basketball and I'm not.
Okay. Now that I have my top piece of elastic attached, I'm going to now attach my bottom piece of elastic, and I'm going to attach it the same way, this time about 1 inch from the bottom edge of the mask. So that piece is now attached, and we're going to do the same thing with bringing the elastic across the front of the mask and then attaching the other end on the other side about 1 inch from the bottom. So now you can see we have both pieces of elastic attached. The next thing you're going to do with those pieces of elastic still in the middle, you're going to fold your mask in half. Like so. And then you're going to sew it together along the bottom. Make sure that your elastic is moved back out of the way. You do not want to sew through your elastic, but you're going to sew it together along the bottom. I'm using a 1/2 inch seam allowance and a straight stitch. And then once you have that sewn together, you're just going to trim away the excess fabric at the bottom. And then you're going to turn your mask right side out. So as you can see, you have a straight edge along the bottom, and then up here it kind of peaks a little bit because that's where the nose is going to be. And your elastic runs across the back, so the mask is secured to the back of the head like so. And you also have a pocket for your filter. There's a pocket opening on each side so you can insert and remove the filter as needed. Now, once you go ahead and trim your threads, if you do not want to add the nose wire, that is optional. You could stop here, but I'm going to show y'all real quick how to do the nose wire. I'm going to take a piece of wire about 10 inches long. You're then going to take your wire and just twist the ends around itself, forming a circular shape. Try to get the ends as smooth as possible. Then you're going to take your circle and just bend it in half so that it makes a long shape. And I'm using floral wire just because that's what I had on hand, but some people are using other things like rolled up aluminum foil or pipe cleaners. There's a few different options, just whatever you have access to will work. And then you're going to take your mask and make sure it's folded neatly at the top. And we're going to just top stitch along the top edge to create a channel or a pocket, if you will, for our nose wire to go through. And I'm going to try to run mine about a 1/2 inch from the very top of the mask. So as you can see, you now have a straight stitch going all the way across the edge of the top of your mask. You're then going to take your nose wire and just stick it through that little pocket you created, and then kind of center it in the top of the mask. Once you have it kind of centered, you're just going to do a straight stitch on each side of the wire, not touching the wire, not going through the wire, just on the outside of the wire. And that way our wire is going to stay in place and there's no danger of it sliding out one end or the other. So there you have it. Here is our face mask with our fashionable cover, cotton lining. You have two bands of elastic going across the back of the person's head. And then you also have pockets on either side so that you can insert and remove your filter as needed. I'm going to go ahead and trim these threads, and then I'm going to show you guys what the mask looks like when you have it on. And there you have it. That's how you make your very own fashion face mask. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.